Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my 200th video, which is a pretty crazy number. If you think about the time I've spent on YouTube and just making videos in general, it's actually pretty crazy. And I don't know, I was going to do something special. I didn't really know what to do though. So I thought I'd just make a sort of random video, but I'd like to mention that I am thankful for all the people out there who have supported me for 200 videos, which is a pretty ridiculous amount of videos. I've probably got way more that haven't actually been uploaded or have been privated because they suck. But nonetheless, I thought today I would talk about the PS4, which I suppose there's no surprise about that because everyone's talking about it. I just sort of wanted to follow on from my last video where I just sort of talked about what I want from it, sort of in E3 and stuff like that. But today I thought I would talk about my hopes and fears for the PlayStation 4. Rarely have I ever seen a console, especially a PlayStation console, which has been a failure. Of all my lifetime, I don't think any console has ever been a massive failure. They've all sold lots of copies, like even, you know, things that aren't that popular. I know Wii's aren't as popular as sort of obviously Xbox and PS3, but they still sell heaps of copies. But I don't know, a lot of people are quite skeptical about the next generation of consoles, and I suppose there is a fair reason why, because technically there isn't a massive sort of technological leap, I suppose you could say, from the PS3 to the PS4, whereas the PS1 to the PS2 saw a big change in sort of, you know, the way TVs worked, the way HD television worked, the way games were made, and all that sort of stuff. And if you think about games that have been developed now, they're still very similar to games that have been developed for the last sort of 6 years. You can see that especially sort of FPS games, they haven't changed a lot in the past few years. So a lot of people do have a good sort of, they have a right to be skeptical about the PS4 and the Xbox One and everything else. Especially the Xbox One, because it had such an interesting, I suppose I might as well just say, a bad reveal. So a lot of people are skeptical. So my first sort of hope for the PS4 is that it just does something creative. The PS3 did a fair few things that were different and creative and that sort of revolutionized that time in gaming. Blu-ray was a really big thing back then. Now it's sort of just standard, I suppose. But they added all this other stuff to make it special and its own unique console. I've always been a PS guy myself, so PlayStation has always been sort of the thing that I love. And I just really hope that the PS4 is creative and adds some sort of feature or features, hopefully, that just make it stand out and make it unique. They have been talking about a fair few things, but of what I can see so far, it's not the most, you know, it's not the biggest leap from the PS3 to the PS4. Now, another hope I have is that the controller just works. Rarely would I say this about controllers, but I found the PS3 controller perfect. Maybe I just was used to it and it just, you know, became what I was used to gaming with. But for me it was perfect. And if you look back at the Nintendo 64 controller, it really wasn't perfect whatsoever. It was just, it really didn't feel that great in the hand. I remember in those little game modes where you'd be flicking the controller in a circle and it would give you these blisters, which is just a poor design. But so far, you know, the PS4 controller looks very similar to the PS3 controller, and the, you know, DualShock controllers have always been great, so for me that's not a fear whatsoever. I'm really quite excited just to you know, see how it works and stuff like that, and I've got, you know, full confidence that it will be a good controller. Now my one fear, and I will be going over a few more fears, but this is my main fear, is that the exclusive games won't be big hits. Now you might be wondering why I'm saying this, because there have been a lot of awesome looking games like Knack, Drive Club, Killzone, and I know that there's others, but I just can't think of them right now. There's all these cool games that are coming out, and they're all, they look really cool, but, and obviously Infamous as well, but I'm just afraid that a lot of people might look beyond them, and look to games that are just like the new COD, the new Battlefield, the new Skyrim, oh sorry, the new Elder Scrolls game if there's one on the console, you know, the new this and that. And I'm just scared that the exclusive games might not get as much attention, which might also bring the company down a little bit. Now my one hope is that they keep the sort of PlayStation, I suppose, aspect, the sort of unique things that made the PlayStation the same. For example, free online. If there's one thing that sort of drew me away from the like Xbox as a console and as a, you know, gaming system, was the fact that you have to pay for online gaming, which for me is stupid and just completely greedy of the developers of Microsoft to do that. And there's other things that I love about the Sony as a company. You know, I really like what they do in terms of support and stuff like that. They've got really good support. The actual consoles themselves, the hardware is amazing. I had the PS3, the original one, for about 6 years before it died, and it died purely because I was using it like every day of my life. So I want them to keep a lot of those features the same. Now, one big fear I have is that the PlayStation online service won't be that good compared to at least the Xbox. The one thing that I suppose made the Xbox One, or the Xbox 360 I should say, made its network better than the PS's was the simple fact that they were earning a lot of money just from revenue from people that were paying monthly for the game. So they could easily support the game and they could have really good online services. And the PS3 honestly didn't have the best services. It did get hacked a few times and it just wasn't the most stable service. So I do hope that they have just a really stable sort of online service. So my next fear for the PS4 is probably the biggest fear I have for the console, and that's just the price. There's so many younger sort of people out there, or even older people, like anyone really, who doesn't want to fork out, you know, $800 or $1,000 just for a gaming console. So I'm hoping that when it releases, it's under $600. Preferably, I wouldn't mind spending, you know, $500 if it's a, you know, good reliable system. But $1,000 for me is just a little bit too much. $500 for me is a pretty good price. They'll be getting a lot of money from the console, especially because other sort of exclusive games and the controllers. And if they add other features, you know, like Blu-ray and sort of things that you can do things that aren't gaming on the PS4 with, then I'm sure people will be happy to spend that sort of money. But I just hope it's not too expensive, because that will really draw a lot of people away from it. So my next fear is that the menus are going to be slow again. And I doubt this is like a legitimate fear, because I'm sure they realize that the menus for the PS3, at least for me, like deleting friends would often freeze the system, and you had issues like that all the time. So I really hope that they really just make slick and fast menus that we can easily navigate across. So my next hope is that they have backward compatibility. So this pretty much means that you can play a PS3 game on the PS4. For example, the GTA 5 is coming out, and FIFA 14 are both coming out, and even COD Ghosts might come out before the PS4 is released. Hopefully we can play those games on the PS4 with the sort of PS4 graphics. That would be really awesome. I sort of doubt that'll be in it, but if it is, that'll be really awesome. So my next hope is that they have way more memory and RAM, just so that there's a much better ability to multitask. For example, say maybe you want to download an update while playing a game, or you want to play a game while running something else. That was often a big issue with the PS3, sorry. I really hope they tackle that and add more RAM into the PS4, which I'm sure they will. And my last fear is that the updates are going to be annoying. I remember the PS3 updates are really annoying always, because sometimes I just wanted to play one game of FIFA or something, and I had to do this massive update which would take forever, or else I couldn't play the game I wanted to play, which was just ridiculous. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, I probably missed heaps of stuff, so let me know what you guys think about what you want to see and what you don't want to see in the PS4. Obviously, it's got the upper edge to the Xbox One. The Xbox One right now isn't in the best position because of the reveal. So, it's really up to Sony now. You know, it's really just in their hands to make this console really, really good. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And once again, thanks for 200 videos and everyone who supported me. And, yeah, I'll see you guys later.